If you have amazing credit, then you have no reason to watch this video. However, if your credit is somewhere between okay and then this video will help you improve those credit scores. My name is John Ross with Finance on a Budget. When I was 18, they gave me my first $300 credit card and I immediately maxed it out on a boombox. When I was 20, they gave me a $1,500 credit card that I also immediately maxed out on my first computer. When I was 24 and moved out on my own, they gave me a $2,500 credit card that I maxed out on a washer, refrigerator, and a microwave. I still have and use that microwave over 24 years later. Best damn thing I ever bought. When you're young, it is so easy to run up debt because you don't have anything that your parents didn't give you. The older you get, the more expensive items that you need to buy. TVs, couches, cars, and freaking dining room sets. The amount of expenses throughout your 20s and 30s is astronomical. No wonder everybody is so broke. Reviewing your credit. But of course, the first thing you need to do to improve your credit is to actually get your credit report. However, understand that a free credit report from CreditKarma.com does not complete the picture. It only serves as a guide to help you keep an eye on things. Credit Karma does not list notations on your credit report or other nuances that you will otherwise get direct from the credit bureaus themselves. There are pay services online like IdentityClub.com that are more comprehensive than Credit Karma, but I have found that even they are lacking in some of the details. In fact, the system is so messed up you can't even trust the services directly like Experian's website either. They still show me scores that are 100 points lower than anywhere else. How could this be? Well, because the data isn't accurate or updated in a timely manner, so it always says that I still owe tens of thousands of dollars more than I actually do. In general, make sure that your credit report is accurate and that there is nothing fraudulent about your financial activities stated there. You can get one free credit report every year from each of the 3 major credit bureaus, which means a free and accurate credit report every 4 months if you space them out properly from each of the companies. For me, the worst credit offense that I ever had was when I once lived in a condominium and another John Ross moved into the other side of the complex. It took about a minute, but our credit reports were fused together and a combination of both of our incomes and expenses were completely mixed up. That was a complete mess. Bad credit starts somewhere. Because you need new things before the old things are even paid for, it's easy to get yourself underwater with too much debt. Sometimes you may not be able to keep up with all the payments. I've long been a freelancer and never know whether I'm going to get paid or when I'm not. If you have a history of being unable to easily pay your bills on time, then you may be repeating the same habits further down the road. As much as you don't want to hear it, there's probably a reason why your credit scores are lower than you would like. It could be dumb late payments or a full-blown bankruptcy. In any event, the best way to repair your credit is to tackle the problem at its source. How have you ended up in this credit score in the first place may have been a one-time occurrence. But for many Americans, it's likely due to poor financial decision-making. Getting good credit should be a fundamental effort that addresses the financial issues at its core, such as proper budgeting and a healthier attitude towards spending. Don't be fooled by companies claiming they can magically clean up your bad credit report without any significant time or effort on your part. But I'll be talking more about what they were able to do for me in just a moment. I have always been bad with credit. At first things go fine, and then I can easily make the payments. But then some emergency comes up and I need to charge more than I intended to. Now I would have to start making payments higher every month. The seasons change and new clothes are needed. Over the course of several months, I would find that if it wasn't for that limit, I would just keep on spending. So, before you try and fix the credit score, you need to fix the habit. Only then should you fix the credit score. Fixing your credit. If you do have really bad credit, don't worry. You can still fix poor credit even if you feel like it's damaged beyond repair. Sometimes you can repair your credit by disputing wrongly recorded information with the credit agencies. In some cases, like mine was, you can report identity theft, if applicable, to do some quick credit repair work. When you get your hands on your credit report, make sure that you check thoroughly for errors. A whopping 25% of all credit reports are riddled with serious errors, so you really have to comb through the information to make sure that you don't end up damaging your chances to get a loan just because of a typo. I was just looking at ours, and Experian is by far the worst, having the oldest data still on record. If you need your credit report to buy a car or a house, then you should look into this stuff at least 2 to 3 months ahead of time. If you do spot an error, make sure that you dispute it right away. Requests for corrections can be done online, by mail, or by phone. Be sure to provide complete documentation like proof of your identity and proof of the erroneous information. If your credit report says that you paid for something late and you actually paid for it on time, make sure that you can provide any receipts or billing statements that can correct those mistakes. Remember, ask nicely because it helps to keep everyone in a good mood even when you're filing a dispute. Other long-term budgeting choices. Obviously, the best thing you can do right now is to actually pay your balances on time. I know, like, right? This successfully proves to both your current and potential creditors that you're responsible enough to borrow again. You can also take advantage of the good credit standing by someone you trust, say a spouse or your parents. If they have a spotless payment history, they can add you as an authorized user or a joint applicant. The biggest regret that I have in my adult life was that I always had bad credit. It was rare I qualified for anything I truly wanted, except houses in 2008, where we could literally take out loans to buy houses all day long because nobody cared. Good times. Good times. And don't sweat the small stuff like store credit cards that offer you clothing or electronics. You need to be building 3, 5, and 10 years down the road for cars, a house, and well, that's really about it. Remember, maybe refinancing the house, but in your day-to-day life, learning to live in a cash-based system has many more advantages. I cover this in my many other videos. Take note of your credit utilization rate, which is the ratio of how much you owe versus how much credit that you have. This debt-to-income ratio can affect your credit score, so keeping it below 30% should be your goal. And finally, you need to discipline yourself not to spend more than you can actually afford in the first place. Figure out what's hurting your credit score and avoid making the same mistakes again. If you are having a hard time budgeting, you can opt for some consumer credit counseling to help you get back on your feet. Credit repair companies. When everything else fails, you can ask a credit repair company for help. They'll try to improve your credit standing for a fee by disputing errors and negotiating with creditors. Just be sure to give the company a thorough background check first so that you know what you're getting yourself into. I have another video where I talked about my own experience with one such company, and I'll include a link below. The other video has way more detail, but my recommendation is to only sign with them for about 4 months. That's when all the big moves were made. After that, not a single thing was able to be removed for me. Knowing that, you can decide if the cost for 4 months worth of services is right for you. But overall, once you've cleaned up your past credit record and did what you could to get your scores up, then you really need to do is keep paying everything on time and don't go over that 30% of your overall debt to income ratio. Keep your head down and let the old items slowly fall off your credit report. A lot of this is nothing more than a waiting game. If you found this video helpful, please give this video a like, subscribe, and leave a comment. If you really like the content, click the notification bell. Thanks for watching.